to stand for our opening hymn, Only Believe. Here we go. All right.
Good morning. I'm Reverend and I'm honored to be here today and very happy that we're all here to deepen our journey with God. It is wonderful to still be recording the service for those that are still at home. Please know that everyone, wherever we are, wherever you are, here or at home, that you're all receiving all the love in our hearts and that our church family is truly, truly priceless. Do we have any first-time visitors? Not today? Well, I'm glad everybody's here that's here. Okay. So we have some announcements. There is an old-fashioned unity prayer service every Sunday from 9 to 9:30. It's held in the temple library. This is a guided meditation prayer time. A great way to feel your connection to God and find that peace that surpasses all understanding. Prayer service is facilitated by Reverend Denise. We have a midweek meditation. It's on Tuesdays at 1:30 in the Temple Library, facilitated by Reverend Denise. Everyone is welcome. It's a guided meditation that lasts about 40 minutes. It's a great way to get back into that positive energy for the week. So we'd like you to mark your calendars. We have on February 18th, which is a Saturday, a prayer chaplain training meeting from 1 to 6 p.m. And if you've been feeling an urge to stretch your wings and grow spiritually in deeper ways, take a bold step into a new year and become a prayer chaplain. It's an awesome opportunity to learn how to hold people in prayer and experience the blessings of joy that return to you for lovingly supporting another person in prayer. There is a sign-up sheet for that in the library, if anybody's interested. And the current chaplains will also be getting together that day from 4 to 6. February 5th is from 12 noon till 2 p.m. We'll be having a new member class. And this class is required to become a member. There are some benefits of becoming a member. You have a voice in our annual meeting by voting on any issues that the church is having. You'll get a monthly call from a prayer chaplain who will hold you in prayer and through any challenge that you're having. And it's also a requirement to be a member in order to become a prayer chaplain or a board member. So if you're interested in officially becoming a part of our church, please sign up for these classes. One or both of them. And our prayer chaplain for today would be me, Carol. And if you need a prayer, please meet me back in the corner over there after the service. And our board member of the day would be Jan Carnes, back in the corner over there. And would you please join me in saying our mission statement? It's in your bulletin on the second page, I believe. Together. Our mission is to provide a prosperous and loving community by connecting to God through prayer and following the teachings of Christ.
Chains that bind me, I am free
And let's take a moment for prayer. Heavenly Father, we give thanks for this day that we can gather together and be a community, a congregation, that we are a group of people that are choosing to live in the light of God, to walk with truth and stand tall. We come to you when we have a concern or an issue, and we say, thank you, God, that we know you're going to work whatever this is out, whether it's finances or relationships or health issues, whatever we've got going on, we know we can come to you and talk to you about it, and you'll get us through whatever is going on. We know that you're there also to celebrate the joys that we have. When something wonderful happens, when we get to do something we wanted to do for a long time. Wherever we are, whatever we're doing, we have your company. You're with us every moment of every day. We're never alone. We stand in truth. We know that you're there to hold our hand or to give us a little nudge. That you are one with each one of us. That we're never alone. We have you to lean on. We have you as a support. We have you as our inspiration. We give thanks, dear God, that whatever is going on in our world, you're there to take us through whatever the challenges might be. And so it is. Amen. And the daily word for today is, let go, let God. I barely release outworn behaviors and I bravely release outworn behaviors and embrace my bright, brilliant future. Holding on to what no longer serves me because it is familiar and I've grown accustomed to it may stall my growth. I evolve much more quickly when I trust my guidance and release old patterns and behaviors. In my heart, I know that when I move away from a dysfunctional relationship, a negative attitude, or unhealthy way of living, I move towards something greater: peace, safety, harmony, freedom, and fulfillment. I let go of anxiety or fear and open myself to happiness and security. I breathe in freedom. My heart becomes buoyant and my steps lighter. I set my intention today to release anything that I have been fearful of letting go of so that I can confidently move forward, open to infinite good. And the scripture comes from Matthew chapter 18, verse 18. Truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Thank you.
the day I was born, said my father, said he, I've an elegant legacy waiting for me. There's a rhyme for your lip and a song for your heart, to sing it whenever the world falls apart. Look to the rainbow, follow it over the hill and stream. Look to the rainbow, follow the fellow who follows the dream. 'Twas a sumptuous gift to bequeath to a child. Oh, the Lord of that song kept my feet running wild. You never grow old and you never stand still. The whippoorwill singing beyond the next hill. Look to the rainbow, follow it over the hill and stream. Look to the rainbow, follow the fellow who follows a dream. So I bundled my heart and I roamed the world free, to the east with the lark, to the west with the sea. And I searched all the earth and I scanned all the skies, but I found it at last in my own true love's eyes. Look to the rainbow, follow it over the hills and streams. Look to the rainbow, follow the fellow who follows a dream. Follow the fellow, follow the fellow, follow the fellow who follows a dream.
Good morning. Thank you, James. That was beautiful. All right, you ready for my joke this morning?
Yes.
All right, I can tell you're excited. So there's this minister who's out in the lobby and he's greeting the people as they come in, and he sees a young man that he hasn't seen for a while. And he says, shakes his hand, and he says to him, "You really need to join the army of the Lord." And the guy says, "But Pastor, I have joined the army of the Lord." And he goes, "No, you haven't. The only time I see you here is on Easter and Christmas." And he goes, "But Pastor, I'm with the Secret Service."
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm a little slow this morning.
So today, we're working on transformation. This week, or a month, we've been working on our empowerment. And today, I know you know that you are an overcomer, do you not?
Yes.
Yes, we are overcomers. And when you have the ability to overcome, then you can transform your life. reflect your current life. And most of the time, we're afraid to look at those things, right? Because we don't want to relive that pain. We don't want to deal with the agony of the past. But guess what? You are a powerful spiritual being, and you have all the power and the courage and the strength to look at that pain and say, you know what? You don't serve me anymore. To look at that fear and say, you have no power over me. I know who I am. So when I was thinking about this lesson of transformation, there is a great chapter in the Bible that is totally about transformation. And most of us have been given the wrong picture of this chapter. It's the book of Revelation. Most people are scared to death of that book of Revelation. Because the book of Revelation is all about the world coming to an end, right? Armageddon, things are all going to die, everything's bad. Well, I'm here to give you a certain idea about that book of Revelation. It is a book of transformation. It is a book that tells you that the world will no longer have any power over you. That is what comes to an end. We no longer believe that the world out there has any power over us. Isn't that a wonderful story? To know that we are powerful beings, that we just don't have to live with what life gives us. So it's an amazing story. It's a story written by John, who represents love in us. And it's a dream that he has. And as we have learned in Dr. Jack Miller's class, dreams are in symbols. They are not telling you something that's going to happen in the past. They're all symbols of something that your subconscious is trying to tell you. Something that sometimes you need to heal, something that you need to let go of, some tool that you might need for the future. But your dreams are talking to you in symbols. So this dream of John's is a dream. It's not a forecast of something that's going to happen in the future. It's not a forecast of the end of the world. It is a lesson on how to transform, how to let go, how to be all that God has created you to be. So I forgot to tell my story about the wolves, so I have to tell you the story. Because it's important. There's a story of two wolves. Okay, and the grandfather tells his son that there's a battle going on inside of all of us, which is what the book of Revelation is about. It is a battle between two wolves that are inside of us. He says, my son, the battle is between two wolves that live in all of us. One is evil. It is anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. I think he hit all of them. I don't think anything's left out of this. The other is good, and it represents joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. And the grandson thinks about this for a while, and he says, which wolf wins? And the grandfather replies, the one that you feed. Did you hear that? The one that you feed. So all these negative things that we like to carry from the past, all those times where we thought we were victims, that we were mistreated, that we were hurt, all those things are feeding our soul, like he says. So which one are we feeding? Are we feeding ourselves that we're joyous, we're loving, we're prosperous, we're powerful? Or taught us from the past. That tape that we failed at something. That tape that we weren't there for somebody. That tape that we're guilty about something. That tape that always wants to tell us we're not enough. Are you done feeding that wolf?
Yes.
I am. So let's learn that we have the power to feed ourselves the good stuff. So in the book of Revelation, this is a dream. It says, after I looked, and there was a heaven, a door stood open, and a first voice which I heard speaking to me like a trumpet said, come up here and I will show you what must first take place. At once I was in spirit. So this is somebody who is in that place, that high place in consciousness, that can see spirit, that can feel that energy and that power that is within. And there in heaven stood a throne with one seated on the throne. And the one seated there looks like jasper. And around all the throne is a rainbow, and it looks like an emerald. So what he's seeing is that one throne is the one power and presence of God that is within us. And the only way he knows how to describe that, what he's seeing, is as an emerald and as a rainbow. You know, when we have these experiences, feeling that oneness with God, it's hard to describe it, is it not? It's hard to tell somebody what you're feeling. And that's where John is. He's in this place where he sees the power and presence of God on the throne, and he sees emeralds and rainbows. And around this throne are 24 thrones, and seated on the thrones are 24 elders dressed in white robes with golden crowns on their heads. So who could these 24 elders be? How many spiritual powers do we have according to Charles Philip? 12. And if we have each one of those powers to their spiritual perfection, which is also 12, you would have 24. Would you not? You have your thinking and your feeling together on each and every one of those powers. So you not only have 12 now, you have 24 on all 12 powers. Around the presence of God. Pretty powerful situation, right? This is what happens when we recognize who we are. And he saw on the right hand of the one seated on the throne a scroll written on the inside and sealed with 7 seals. And an angel proclaimed with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the scroll and break the seals? And no one in heaven, on earth, or under the earth was able to open the scroll or to look into it. And then she began to weep. But one of the elders said, do not weep. Seek the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David. He has conquered. So let him open the scroll. So who are they talking about? Who is that can open the scroll? Well, it's not a man, not any man can open that scroll. Just the Christ within you can open that scroll. Just that power within you is the only one who has permission to see what's inside there. That's the only person you want opening that entry door to your consciousness, is that Christ's presence. He's the one that has the power to transform. So don't worry. You have this Christ presence within you that can open it. So he opens the first seal. What comes out? There's a white horse. There's a white horse with a man in a white robe and a golden crown and a sword in his hand. So what do? We connect to that Christ presence that is within us, and what do we get? The white horse. Horse is something of power, right? When carve away to your future. And that sword in unity represents denials and affirmations. So guess what? We can use those denials and affirmations to cut through of all the holy crap that we have from the past. Isn't that great? You have this beautiful sword, and you can deny the fear. I'm not telling you that to deny a situation, but you can deny the fear of it. You can say, you have no power over me. I have my white sword and my golden crown and my armor of God on it. I am not afraid of you. Stand before me and let me strike you down with my affirmations of love and joy and peace. And guess what? That fear goes away. When we decide to face it, to use that sword and say, no, fear has no power over me. I choose to stand in my truth. I am a powerful being of God, and I can overcome whatever it is that is before me. Because I have this white horse that is inside of me, that has the golden crown, that has the sword, and it's moving forward. It's not going backwards. So that's what comes out of the first seal, is the white horse. That gives us all the power, the strength that we need to overcome, to let go, and to let God. Then he opened a second seal, and I heard the second preacher call out, come! And out came another horse, and it's bright red, and its rider is permitted to take peace from the earth, so that people would slaughter one another, and was given him a great sword too. So we got this red horse. This red horse represents all our emotions. This red horse represents anger. And yes, anger is always going to what? Take away our peace. Anger is always going to create violence. So these emotions that we're holding on to have power. It was given a sword. So we have to learn that when these emotions come up, when we stir them up, because that's what transition is all about, we're stirring up old stuff to let it go so we can have something greater. All these emotions are going to come bubbling up. That's what's going to happen with the red horse. It's been let loose out of the seal. And lo and behold, there's another horse. And this horse is black. And this horse represents our intellect. All this time we spend logically trying to figure something out. In the story, this black horse represents a balance. It's always wanting an even exchange for things. Because that's how we are when we're not our true spiritual self. We're always wanting an even exchange. If I give you something, then I get something in return. So we have to think, this is what else is going to come out of our consciousness, is all these intellectual ideas that we spend so much time focusing on. They're going to come to the surface. And we're going to spend too much time logically with our heads trying to figure things out. Right? So we have the first horse being spirits. We have the second horse being emotions, those angers, resentments that don't let us live a life of peace. And now we have the intellect showing up to see what it can do. And the last seal is open, and it's a pale horse. A pale horse. And this pale horse represents our fear of death. Jesus told us life was eternal. So I believe life is eternal. But it is one of our deepest fears, is this fear of dying, because it's a fear of the unknown. But I'm going to ask you, do you not live in the unknown every day? Tomorrow, you think you know what's going to happen, right? And will tomorrow happen the way you think it's going to happen? Probably not. Chances are, it's not going to go like that at all. So you can't tell me that you don't live in the unknown going to happen tomorrow. Not really. The only thing we know is that the sun is going to rise and the sun is going to set. Everything else in between is really an unknown. And we can plan all we want. We can make our list. Do you ever get your list done? No, because the universe has a different thing for you to do. It says, nice list, but I want you to do this. You need to help this person. You need to work on some stuff from your past. You need to get, other things done. So yeah, this pale horse is pale because we drain all its energy because we're so afraid of the unknown. We're so afraid to die. We're so afraid of a lot of things. And it makes us pale. It takes all our energy away. So those are the things that come out of our consciousness. But the good news is you have these 24 elders. You have the power and presence of God. And I also forgot about the beast that you have. You have 4 beasts with 6 wings with eyes that go all the way around their head. Now, other ministers like to go to town with these beasts, but these beasts have wings, which means these beasts lift you up. And there's 4 beasts that go with the 4 horses. That you have these also ideas within you that are always lifting you up, and these beasts have eyes all around their head, so they can see absolutely everything. There is nothing you can hide from these beasts. They have eyes all the way around their head. Nothing is sneaking up on them. And you have them. You have that power within you. And when the 6th seal is open, there's an earthquake. Oh my God, everything in the outer world starts changing. Because why? Because we've decided to transform. We've decided to use our power and to let go of some of these things. And guess what? Life changes. Yes, the world is going to start looking a little crazy because we've decided to believe in something better about ourselves. Because we've decided to quit believing that we're not enough. We've decided to quit believing that we're not worthy. We've decided to quit feeling guilty. We've decided to believe in who we are. And guess what? The world changes. It changes because we're no longer feeding that other wolf. And we can create new experiences. New experiences of love and joy and peace and prosperity. Isn't that what we want? Absolutely. And in the story, God comes and puts his seal on those 144,000, which is those 12 powers, all making it to spiritual completion, which is 12. So you have 12 times 12, with 3 zeros after it, which means infinite times in your mental, physical, and spiritual realm. Those 3 zeros represent infinity. So these 144,000, which some people like to say that's the only amount that's going to go to heaven, some crazy story, is your spiritual power. Your 12 powers have made it all the way to spiritual completion. So how much more powerful could you possibly be in this state? How much more power do you want? You have all, and I don't have time to go over the 12 powers, but you got all 12 powers working at top capacity spiritually within you, and that is sealed on your forehead. That's where your intellect, that's where all the thinking goes on, right? It's sealed on your forehead. Now we like to talk about the 666 that the devil likes to put on the foreheads, right? Well, I want to tell you, what is half of 12? in the realm of spiritualness, 6 just means you're not all the way to 12. You still got stuff that you're working on that you need to let go of to get to 12. So yes, 6 is not as powerful as 12. Yes, 6 can look a little dirty, maybe devilish even. And there's 3 of them because you're talking about the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual. But you were given the seal of God on your forehead first. First. You have that power to deal with the 666 that's not quite there yet. Isn't that amazing? So it creates this earthquake, which means everything is about to change, and we should be excited about that. That life is not going to be the same. Do you get tired of living the same day over and over and over again? I do. So why not say yes to the earthquake? Yes, things are getting shook up. Yes, I'm excited because I'm letting go of all this old stuff and I can see that things are breaking up and something new is coming. Something more exciting, something more beautiful, something more fulfilling, something that brings me joy. So isn't it worth it to take all that power that is presented as symbols in the book of Revelation, use it to take your sword and demolish and let go of all that negativity, all that nastiness that we like to think about ourselves or that other people choose to think about us. Just take that sword and let it go. There are so many more greater things for each one of us to experience. And I'll be one of the first to tell you, I don't like looking at all that nasty stuff either. But it has a great benefit to look at it. It has great benefit if you look at it and say, you no longer belong to me, then I know who I am. Then I can achieve my dreams. Then I can be a part of this transformation. Then I am a powerful being. But I cannot be a powerful being as long as I have this baggage or stuff that's in my way. And unfortunately, I have to look at it in order to let it go. And it's not fun. I may cry. I may get angry. I may get upset. I may have to journal about it. I may have to paint about it. I may have to scream about it. But isn't it worth it to let it go? Then God's love comes rushing in. And you think, wow, I feel so much better. Wow, I feel so much more powerful. Wow, why didn't I let this go years ago? Why? So my question to you is, if we're holding on to it, there's a reason we're holding on to it. What benefit do we get out of it? Well, sometimes we like to play the victim, right? If I tell my nasty story, you'll feel sorry for me. That's the only reason I could come up with when I was looking at my own stuff. Because I sometimes like to get the attention of being the victim, right? Look what this person did to me. Don't you feel sorry for me? Look what I had to put up with. And all that does is keep me stuck in that space. Do you see that? Every time I repeat that story in a negative and emotional way, I am right back there wherever it happened and reliving the same thing. I've had husband number 1 and I've had husband number 2. I did no healing work in between them. Did I relive the same thing? Yes. Because I did not let go of any of my baggage from the past. And I don't know about you, but there's sometimes people at work or in your neighborhood that you just can't stand. And so you move, you get a different job. And lo and behold, there's another person that you just can't stand. Reliving the experience over and over. Well, today is the day to draw the line in the sand and say, no, I choose not to live this over and over. I choose to transform. And to transform, I have to let go of the past. Are you willing to do that?
Yes.
Yes! Look what you have. You have these 144,000 spiritual powers to the nth degree within you. You have that white horse. You have the sword. You've been given everything to let all that stuff go. So now is the time to do it. For all of us. Because we're all wanting to transform not only ourselves, but we're wanting to transform our world. And yes, when we first start this process, the world might look like an earthquake. Because we are shaking it up. We are breaking it up. And when it all settles down, the end of the book of Revelation, what do you have? A new Jerusalem. A new state of consciousness. A new being that experiences no more tears. That has the life, the fulfillment, the joy, the beauty of God. The new Jerusalem is beautiful. But there's something we got to do to get there. And that is to transform. In the book of Revelation, it's got a lot of stories about beasts with heads and all that. But all those beasts are within us. All that fear, all that abandonment, all that guilt, all that shame are the heads of these beasts. And they're right there inside of you. The Antichrist they talk about is right there inside of you. Anything that believes you are less than a divine expression of God is an Antichrist thought within you. It's the truth. We keep looking for something outside ourselves. Well, it's not out there. Those negative energy is right there within my own heart. So let's get excited because we've decided to transform today, right?
Right.
We're ready to look at the past. We're ready to see it, to feel it, and to let it go, right?
Right.
No matter how many tears we have to cry, no matter how many times we have to scream, no matter how many times that, I don't know, what else do we do? Throw plates, but not at anybody. I've thrown plates with no one around.
Paper plates.
And, anyway, if you throw a real one, you have to clean it up. So. It has its downside, but it has its advantages too, because you can see it just go away. Whatever we need to do it, and we need to do it now. Because we're done living the way that we were living in the past. We're done not believing that we're powerful people. We all collectively can change the world. But all of us have to go through this transforming process. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Take whatever it is and look it in the face and say, you have no power over me. And see what happens. You might be surprised. You just might be surprised at the amazing answer you might get in return. You might be surprised that God's love comes rushing in to say, finally, you let it go so I can be here and we together can co-create an amazing world. So are you ready to do that?
Yes.
All right, I'm a little bit over, but oh well. So let's take our time for prayer and meditation. Just take a deep breath. Because Because I know it's not easy. It's not easy to look at our past. It's not easy to look at the wounds that are in our hearts. But it's time. It's time to know that God is the one and only source of my being. The Spirit created me. That life itself moves through me. That I am an important and connected part of the spiritual universe. So today, I choose to transform. Today, I let go of the past. So let's take this time to just think of one thing that you would really like to let go of. And I want you to see it. And I want you to say that you have no power over me anymore. I know who I am. And I am an infinite, powerful child of God. So I lovingly let you go. You don't belong with me anymore. You no longer serve me. So I no longer believe in unworthiness, limitation, shame. I no longer believe that I am undeserving of the best that life has to offer. I deserve and expect all good things in my life, for I am one with God. And in that oneness, I accept my own beauty. I see it reflected in the world around me. I accept my own power, and I use it wisely. I accept my own worth, and I live life abundantly. I accept my own love, and I share it freely. Today, I accept my own potential, and I live life fully. So today, I put my past false beliefs behind me, where I wear the golden crown, where I have the white garment on, and I have the sword, and I have that white horse. There's nothing that's going to stop me from setting myself free from anything in my past. Today I choose to love myself, and never again will I judge myself as being undeserving. Today I transform, letting go and letting God. And this transformation feels so good. It feels so good to give myself permission to become the person that God created me to be. So let's take this power, this newfound power, into the silence. So let's become aware of our surroundings and wrap all that love of God under the soles of your feet so you're grounded. Hear the music James is playing. And always know you have the power to let go of the past. You have the power to heal yourself. For today we choose to transform, to be renewed, to be healed in the grace of God. Amen.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high. Don't be afraid of the God. At the end of a storm is the golden sky and the sweet still song of a life. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on, with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone.